is 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, June 16th, and the Louisville Planning and Zoning Commission meeting regular session is now called to order, and we do have a quorum present. Item number 2 is approval of the minutes of the June 2nd, 2020 meeting. If there's no additions or corrections, may I have a motion to approve as presented?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Karen,
Second.
seconded by Aaron. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3 is regular hearings for plats. Item 3A, final plat of Luna Benitez Edition, Lot 1, Block A. It's on a 1.14 acres out of the J.W. King Survey. Abstract number 695, Zone Light Industrial, L1 District, located on the north side of McKenzie Street, approximately 100 feet east of Willow Street.
Good evening, Commissioners. The Luna Benitez plat was submitted on May 18th and has been reviewed by staff. We have found some discrepancies and deficiencies with the plat, which includes title opinion and tax certificate being included and other items that are listed on the report. Staff asked that the P&Z Commissioners disapprove the final plat with deficiency and delegate staff ability to accept and approve the plat once the listed deficiencies are corrected.
Any questions, Commissioners? Nope. Okay, if not, may I have a motion on item 3A, final plat of Luna Benitez Edition, Lot 1, Block A.
Motion to disapprove with giving staff the right to approval after the corrections are made.
Motion by William,
Second.
seconded by Mary Ellen. All those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3B, final plat of the Keeley Edition Lots 1R1 and 1R2, Block 7. It's on a 0.151 acres, zoned Old Town Mixed Use 2, OTM U2 District, located at 214 North Keeley Avenue. This is a replat of a portion of lots 1 and 2, Block 7, Keeley Edition. June?
Yes. Commissioners, the Keeley Edition was submitted on the May 18th, and we found discrepancies, including needing to note about the park development fees and also need to provide more detail on the access easement. With other discrepancies that are listed on the report, staff recommends that the P&Z Commission disapprove the final plat for the discrepancies and delegate staff the ability to accept and approve the plat once the listed deficiencies are corrected.
Commissioners, any questions? Okay, then may I have a motion on item 3B, the final plat of Keeley Edition, lots 1R1 and 1R2, Block 7.
I move to disapprove, giving staff the okay to to approve once deficiencies are met.
Okay, motion by Aaron,
Second.
seconded by Karen. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Item 3C, final plat of Castle Hills, Phase 10, Louisville Edition, lots 31R, Block H, and lots 1R, Block J. This is approximately 1.165 acres with the zoning designation of Estate Townhouse, ETH, located on the northeast and southwest corners of intersection of Carlisle Drive and Clem Castle Drive. This is a replat of Castle Hills, Phase 10, Louisville Edition, Lot 31, Block H, Lot 1, Block J.
Commissioners, this is a plat of an existing subdivision. They were realigning one of the streets which affected their overall outside boundary of the lot lines of the two residential lots. It's a replat to address that so that the street alignment is correctly recorded on the plat. Staff, we have received the submittal on the May 18th, and staff recommends that commissioners disapprove with deficiency listed, which includes that they need to provide correct title block and city signature block, and give staff authority to approve and accept it once all the deficiencies are corrected.
Okay, Commissioners, questions? Okay, then may I have a motion for item 3C, final plat Castle Hills Phase 10, Louisville Edition?
Move to disapprove, giving staff approval once all the deficiencies are corrected.
Okay, motion made by William,
Second.
seconded by Alvin. Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, next is item 4, public hearings, zoning and special use permits. Item 4A is a public hearing, consideration of a special use permit for a minor automotive services facility. It's on approximately 0.91 acres, legally described as Lot 2R, Block A, Razaz, Louisville Edition, zoned local commercial district LC, located at 761 West Crown Grove Road, that's Farm to Market 3040, as requested by Gabriel Syed, Lone Star Construction and Remodeling, on behalf of Youssef Faraz, YNA Food Export Incorporated, property owner. Case number 20-05-3 SUP.
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. So this special use permit is a retrofit of what was originally built to be a light automotive repair. The original plans for what was previously called Zoomers Automotive were submitted in early 2013. However, this particular property has been vacant since December, so it's been vacant longer than the 90 days permitted by our code, so the use now does require a special use permit per the regulations that were adopted later in 2013 after this original submittal came in. So they are required to conform use-wise. They are not planning to change the site layout at all. It does have adequate parking. It does have bays that face the side as opposed to the street. They are proposing additional landscaping. There are spaces where landscape was planted in the parking areas. They're proposing to fix some of the shrubs that have died. In addition, they are going to meet our current 30-foot buffer landscaping ordinance with canopy trees, ornamental trees, and a shrub row. So that will be a significant improvement on the site. And in addition, the building is currently painted a blue color. The applicant is going to paint it a neutral color and then add a 4-foot-tall stone's wainscot on the bottom of the building. The stone's wainscot on the bottom is for two reasons. One, the structure won't support full stone up the side of the building. And two, he likes the stone and stucco look. We discussed going with brick, but even brick gets to be a little bit problematic with the weight that it adds. And it also looks a little bit funny based on the angle of the building. You don't typically see, it just structurally doesn't look like it's meant to be when you have a building that kind of goes up at that angle. So they're adding the stone to the front and moving to the neutral colors. So they are doing landscaping and architectural enhancements. In addition, they're committing to any signage being low-profile monument signage or building signage. And then the previous Zoomers Automotive would occasionally affix signs to the fence that goes around the detention pond that's within the 30-foot landscape buffer. They have committed to not use that for signage. So staff's here if you have any questions. And our recommendation is that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the special use permit for minor automobile services as presented.
Commissioners, questions for staff? Okay, if not, I'll open up the public hearing. Anyone that wishes to speak, please come forward, state your name and sign in.
And I don't believe we received any speaker cards for this public hearing.
Okay, having no one come in, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, any comments, concerns, questions? If not, may I have a motion on item 4A, special use permit for minor automotive services on Round Grove Road?
Move to approve as presented.
Motion by John,
Second?
seconded by William. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioners. And this item is going to be scheduled for City Council on their, I believe it's July 6th. Yes, July 6th meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 4B is a public hearing. Consideration of special use permit for a gasoline service station on approximately 1.8 acres. It's legally described as Lot 3, Block A, Vista Ridge / MacArthur Edition. It is Zone Light Industrial L1. It's located at 2801 MacArthur Boulevard, as requested by Thomas Vilbig and Associates on behalf of Capital One National Association, the property owner. This is case number 20-04-2 SUP.
Commissioners, the proposed Quick Trip desire to locate at the corner of MacArthur and 121. Staff has met with the applicant from the front, and we were very clear about how staff was not in support of this particular use at this location due to this area being identified as a employment center in the Louisville 2025 plan. The applicant has responded to our comment about how this area is also in the I-35 overlay district, having more walkable, pedestrian-friendly environment, and has provided the proposed building, which is shown in red at the corner of the street, and with 10 gas pump stations. They are keeping the existing landscaping and the walkway for the most part. There is a concrete sidewalk that's existing and some of the street trees. They are proposing to add a little more parking lot trees and also the area to the west of the building, some area that they want to screen with additional shrubs. So with I-35 overlay district, the site does need to provide a little more trees. In regular places, they are required to provide trees every 50 feet, but in I-35 overlay, they are required to place street trees at every 40 foot on center. And also, it requires that parking islands be provided at every 8 spaces versus every 15 spaces in the rest of the Louisville. Sorry, the elevation is missing. So as Steph has discussed, the area, if you look at to the south of 121 and I-35, you can kind of see how this bottom area around the lake, where the Vista del Lago was recently built, that area is also designated as part of the employment centers. We do really want to take advantage of the access that 121 provides, connecting the Louisville from DFW to the northern cities. And here's the 1 mile radius of the proposed site, and you can see with the yellow dots all the automotive related uses, which includes car washes and any auto repair shops and tire shops. The dots in red are actual gas stations, including one at Costco, one at Walmart, and one at Market Street. And there is also a close by gas station right across the street that's part of the 7-Eleven in the strip center that's located across from the street there. Also, there are Goodyear tire shop and car wash and a quick car place. And also to the south, there is also another automotive use nearby. So with I-35 overlay district design regulations, staff is recommending denial of the project, but if the P&Z wanted to recommend approval, please consider adding a little more I-35 enhancements, which one of the things that we wanted to present was that this is a quick trip store in Fort Worth. They're in the corner of their Rosedale and Hemp Hill, and you can kind of see how they have treated with more detail. So you can see from the top picture, that's a street corner. They actually have a staircases in the entry for the pedestrian to walk up. And you can see at the picture below how they also have an entry facing the street. And you can see on the last picture at the bottom that although they don't have any entries, they do have some window details just to be more street friendly. Also, another suggestion that we presented to the applicant was a consideration of adding a metal roof on it. So you can see the quick trip on Old Denton Road and Parker that got on the CUP a couple of years ago. They provided a metal roof, and also 7-Eleven on Bel Air and 121 that was recently finished. They also provided a metal canopy. And this is the picture provided by the applicant, so maybe they are considering providing the canopy. They are here at the meeting if you have any questions for staff or for the applicant. We did receive one call from a neighbor asking if this was going to be a car wash, and we told them it was a gas station. That resident did not express either support or opposition. Did we get any other?
Okay, commissioners, questions?
What's staff recommendation on this?
Staff recommending denial to the city council for this, based on the proposed use and the location, that the area is designated for employment centers, and also the I-35 overlay promotes more urban walkable development. And another thing is, if you look at the aerial view, it's very close to the Vista del Lago, and when we were approving that PD, we were talking about how we wanted to promote more walkability and urban style design along that 121 corridor because it connects to the Southern Gateway area that's right across I-35.
Yeah, and our recommendation really does come down to the criteria listed for approval for a special use permit in our code. There's 4 criteria, and it's really the first 2, which is that the use be complement or compatible with surrounding uses and community facilities and any adopted comprehensive plans or small area plans. And then the second one is that the use contribute or enhance or promote the welfare of the area of request and adjacent properties. And we're concerned with just the proliferation of automotive uses in this area, as was shown on the map that June put forward, and then also the designation on our comprehensive plan that it be an employment center. We think that it has potential to be a higher employment use. And then again, the I-35 also does push for more walkability and less focus on auto-oriented uses.
June, do we have a Google Street View that I can see of the area?
I'm not sure if it's going to be able to pull it up, but we will try.
Aram, did you have any question regarding, what was it about the street view
Yeah,
you
I
wanted
just
to
want,
consider?
yeah.
Mhm. Get a feel for
Yeah,
how
I
the
just
area
kind of
looks.
wanted to
Sure.
see if I could get a better visual of.
Okay.
If you'll give just a minute, it's having trouble connecting to the Wi-Fi in the
okay.
room, so I'll try and restart it and then we'll get going.
Should we open up the public floor for the applicant to speak?
Are there any other questions or anything else while we
Okay.
do this?
Any other questions? If not, we'll open up the public hearing, and I see we have 2 people that wish to speak. So, So if there is anyone who wishes to speak, please come forward and state your name and sign in. And I guess you've already signed in if you've got this.
Good evening. Suzanne Kedron, 2323 Ross Avenue. I'm a land use and zoning attorney at Jackson Walker. I'm here on behalf of Capital One, the property owner for the site. We are really excited about working with Quick Trip on the site. Contrary to staff's recommendation, we do feel it is a good location for this use. I think in today's day and age, employment centers, we still definitely want that, and you're going to hear some statistics on employment that Quick Trip has. If you've ever been into a Quick Trip store, it's a very nice, clean use, and I think it's a really good way to activate a corner with a building that's currently vacant. So we are very excited about it, and we do seek your support of approval. If you have any other further questions, I'm here to answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Susan? Oh, that's fine. I said thank you. I'm sorry.
Commissioners, Jake Petrus, Quick Trip Corporation, Real Estate Manager, 1120 North Industrial Boulevard, Euless, Texas. Thank you for the opportunity. I represent Quick Trip as a real estate manager. I was the
Sorry,
one.
can you move the microphone up a
No,
little?
I beg your pardon. Thank you. I represent Quick Trip. I'm responsible for site selection and acquisition and somewhat of permitting. I chose this site when Capital One closed their doors some time ago and put it under contract, and here we are today. I wanted to, in addition, contrary to staff's recommendation, address a few points, if I may. The one thing we were really challenging ourselves to do, and based upon staff's vision and the comprehensive plan's vision, to have this as a more walkable, urban-type feel, we made a very significant concession voluntarily out of the gate to put the building orientation on the hard corner. It is something we are not very comfortable with doing. It's very outside of the box in our business, but we recognize the importance of the city's vision, and also there's some information I have to be careful about how I share. But there is a developer, a very reputable office developer, that is under contract for the adjacent real estate. We, for some months now, have been working with them very closely on our design to ensure it's compatible with what will likely and hopefully be a large employment center. Our use, they're excited about the concept of it to be an amenity, because those of you that are familiar with Quick Trip and those of you that are not, we're much more than what most interpret as a gas station. I mean, we have a very, very strong quality food offer. If you're familiar with our stores, our staff is incredibly friendly. When we talk about employment centers, we have a very good grasp or stakehold in Louisville already. We operate 4 stores currently. Annually, between those 4 stores, we account for $2.89 million in payroll revenue or payroll spent within Louisville. In addition, our stores are really successful. I shouldn't share this, but we do $13.69 million in merchandise sales out of those 4 stores annually. So we have a lot of success, and we want to expand on that success and expand our partnership with the city. We certainly respect staff's opinion on this, but I certainly have trouble with that we would contribute to a detrimental proliferation at this location. I don't see that. I struggle with that concept because we do have a really good, strong corporate citizenship within Louisville already, and we are deliberately partnering with an employment center that's excited about us to be a compatible use and integration within their overall concept. This isn't just about 2 acres of Quick Trip on a hard corner. This is a much bigger concept. And we are, frankly, going to be an amenity to that bigger concept. This day and age with COVID and the changes in retail and sales tax revenue, these are still good opportunities for Quick Trip. We're very strong, healthy, have a really strong capital position. This isn't something that this body needs to be concerned with not being there long term. I've started to ramble, so I apologize. But I'd like to close with, I genuinely believe this would be a good fit for the community. I think we have made great strides in coming up with a compatible use that meets the intent and vision of the comprehensive plan. And furthermore, I'm excited about having being part of a larger development where we can help be a service center or a service and amenity to this future employment center. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I genuinely appreciate your time. Thank you.
Commissioners, may I add on to that? I hope you guys do consider two things. One is that comparison of the number of employees typically employed by the gas station versus if it remained either on bank use or on office use, they may actually have more number of employees working more full-time. Also, another thing is, I hope you consider what happens after Quick Trip runs out of their life cycle at that site, which might be 10, 20 years. Typically, my understanding is those are easily converted into other automotive uses. So I just want you to consider those two things. Michelle, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just, we did put the street view up for you, Ms. Commissioner Ali, and then we've also got the elevations in there, if you'd like to see those.
Commissioners, if I may, I did forget one item, if so, please. As far as staff's encouraging this body to come up with, or encourage us to come up with a design that's similar to Hampton and Hemphill, or I think it's Hampton and Hemphill in Fort Worth, we would be very amenable. The rear elevation of having some sort of dressing up, since the orientation of the building will have a hard corner presence and be highly visible, we're absolutely would continue to work with staff on a design that's amenable. As far as the additional landscaping is concerned, we're very open, or we didn't receive that comment until a couple days ago that we were not in compliance. Otherwise, we would be here before this body. Our apologies for that. The last item, as far as the canopy is concerned, happy to accommodate if this board or commission wishes to see that mansard canopy with the metal roof line. Our concern is it kind of takes away the, if I'm a citizen of Louisville, I would prefer to not add more emphasis visually to the canopy and try and focus more on the building architecture, which we're incredibly proud of. This is an example that we've built in Allen. I met with many of their commissioners and council members, and they really love it. So we were happy to comply there. If this board or body wishes to see that, we would be happy to comply with that as well.
All right, thank you, Jake.
Thank you very much.
Commissioners, discussion, comments?
Yeah, on the 2025 plan, is there a location near here that's not an overlay district that would be fit into the 2025 plan?
So if you look at what's called the employment center on the map above you, if you just go basically a block or so in from business, or from 121, sorry, that's 121 in that location, that kind of gets you out of the core of the employment center area. And then the other critical concern is that there is also a gas station just across that intersection, a car wash, another kind of a tire shop. and some other uses, but you can see there's a car wash sort of directly across. And so that's where the proliferation, or a gas station directly across, that's where the proliferation of use comment comes in. And then that employment center, we really wanted to build in this area on all of the momentum that's further north on State Highway 121 and all of the large office complexes that are coming in that area. And so we really wanted to reserve land for office type development.
Other questions, comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion for item 4B, which is a special use permit for a gasoline service station, Vista Ridge and MacArthur Edition, located at 2801 MacArthur Boulevard. Okay.
First of all, I want to thank you for our quick all coming. I think that the bottom line on this comes down to the fact that the staff has made a recommendation. I don't see, even if we approve this, I don't see this getting past city council. So I'll make a motion to disapprove the recommendation.
Okay, motion by William for disapproval. of the
Second.
SFP, seconded by John. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
This item will appear on the city council on the July 6th meeting for the second public hearing and final decision. I'm sorry, that's 7/20th. I apologize.
Okay, thank you. Item 5 is other business. Immediately following dismissal of the planning and zoning, there'll be an overlay district meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Aaron,
Second.
seconded by Mary Ellen. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.